American Cardinal Raymond Burke has chosen a side, not with Leo XIV, but with Donald Trump. While the Pope called for disarmament on Easter Sunday, Burke called Iran a threat and justified military intervention. And a few hours later, on the other side of the ocean, Cardinal Hollerich opened the doors to women at the altar. Stay with me until the end. What I'm going to tell you today will change the way you look at the crisis in the Church. Let's start with the facts. On April 12, 2026, the Gloria.tv portal published an interview with Cardinal Raymond Burke in the newspaper Il Giornale. Burke directly addressed the tensions between the Vatican and the Trump administration. His conclusion: the narrative of an ongoing confrontation is exaggerated. On the conflict in Iran, the one that Leo XIV condemned in his Easter address to the Urbi et Orbi, Burke took a clear position. It's certainly unrealistic to think that the situation in Iran was good before the attacks by the United States and Israel. He added, "I believe that, in his own way, Trump also has peace as his goal." Burke said he prayed for the freedom of the Iranian people, who have suffered too long at the hands of the Ayatollahs. The Iranian regime, he concluded, represents a nuclear threat both to its neighbors and to other countries. And he has quietly distanced himself from his compatriot Leo XIV. It's a fracture within American Catholicism that no one can pretend not to see. That same morning in Luxembourg, Cardinal Jean-Claude Hollerich gave an interview to Vatican News. The topic: Women in the Church. Hollerich warned that full female ordination would currently split the Church, citing the Anglican experience. But he immediately added, "It is difficult to imagine a church capable of lasting long if half of the people of God suffer because they do not have access to the ordained ministry." The proposed solution: subdeacons, women who officiate in the liturgy, one step at a time, the white gloves of ecclesiastical progressivism. 2 cardinals, 2 interviews, the same morning. One looks right, toward Trump and the war. The other looks left, toward the altar open to women. And Leo XIV, in the center, celebrates Divine Mercy Sunday, while his church shows evident fractures. Let's understand who Raymond Burke is and why his words this morning matter so much. Burke is the American cardinal whom Francis removed from the Congregation for Bishops in 2016. He is the cardinal who signed the 5 dubia against the apostolic exhortation Amoris Laetitia. He is the cardinal whom Francis penalized with the loss of his salary in 2023. For years, Burke represented the front line of traditionalist resistance against the progressive papacy. Traditionalists loved him. Progressives loathed him. Then came Leo XIV. Robert Prevost, an American like Burke, elected on May 8, 2025. And something began to change. Leo XV did not repeal traditionist custodes, but granted exceptions to those who requested them. He attempted to mediate with the Society of St. Pius X. In Burke's eyes, Leo XIV is perhaps acceptable, not ideal, but tolerable. And then there's Trump. Burke has always had conservative political sympathies. With Trump bombing Iran in the name of Western security, Burke sees him not as an aggressor, but as a defender. At Easter, Leo XIV had said, "Whoever has weapons, let them lay them down." He had explicitly condemned the threats against the Iranian people. The American Pope found himself taking a position opposite to the American Cardinal. It's a rift the mainstream media tends to ignore. 2 American Catholics at the top of the church, with completely opposing views on the war. and neither is giving in. Let's move on to Hollerich. Jean-Claude Hollerich is not a new name. He is the Luxembourg Cardinal who in 2022 said that the Church's teaching on non-heterosexuality was erroneous, only to later retract under pressure. Today, Hollerich talks about women, and he uses the same tactic. He suggests a small step to open the door to much larger ones. John Paul II definitively declared in Ordinatio Sacerdotalis that the ministerial priesthood is reserved to men. He used the most solemn language available to the magisterium. This doctrine is not open to debate. Yet Hollerich says that the Church cannot last long if women remain excluded. This language uses institutional survival as a lever to dismantle immutable doctrine. It's the same pattern used for decades. And what does Leo XIV do about this? He appointed him General Rapporteur for the Synod on Synodality. Hollerich remains at the forefront, with the Pope's full confidence. These aren't two isolated pieces of news that just happen to appear on the same day. They're two symptoms of the same problem. A church where anyone can say anything, in any direction, and no one is corrected. Burke can defend the war. Hollerich can open the door to subdeacons. Both wear the purple. Both sit in the conclave. The magisterium exists precisely to prevent differing opinions from carrying the same weight as doctrine. When one cardinal can contradict the Pope on war and another can suggest reshaping the priesthood, and no one is rebuked, the ship is adrift. Christ did not found a democracy. He founded a church, with a magisterium, a doctrine, a chain of authority that tolerates no contradictions on doctrine and morality. The Catholic faith is non-negotiable. The Mass of all time is non-negotiable. The male priesthood is non-negotiable. And so, the question becomes inevitable. How long can this tension persist without exploding openly? Because when disagreements aren't clarified, they don't disappear. They accumulate, they grow, and sooner or later, they force everyone to choose a side. If this content has helped you see more clearly what's happening, you can support this work with a super thank you. It's the most direct way to allow this type of analysis to continue without compromise or filters. What do you think? If you liked the video, comment Amen. God bless you.